Hello, hello. Thought I would go live a minute early, um, just so I can wait for some of you guys to join because I'm delivering some dope shit. Um, it's gonna be fun today. Actually, I'm not feeling the greatest today, so I'm gonna be using my notes a little bit more than I have in the last couple days. Um, but what I'm talking about, I'm so excited about that I couldn't not go on today because today is the real, the meat and the potatoes. I've talked about how having a purpose to your company can help with employee motivation, which is so important because your employees are the ones that are the face of your company. I've talked about how having a purpose can drive innovation. Um, and today I'm going to be talking about how it helps, like, when you connect with your customers and how it actually drives the bottom line profit, which is what we all care about as small business owners and entrepreneurs. Like, what we actually really care about is our profit. And, you know, totally get it. But what I am here talking about is that business is like more than profit. Like, I strongly believe that the role of businesses is to forward our society. I can't help but get a little political in the idea that our government isn't looking out for people, and that our government is there's so many lobbyists and everything that our government is really now a business, and so it's up to businesses, your business, my business, everyone else's business, to take care of our planet, to take care of each other. And I really believe that, as I've talked about, employees are demanding it, consumers are demanding it. Your business needs to do more than just make a profit. Your business needs to serve a purpose. And so I'm super excited today to be talking about exactly what consumers think about when it comes to business and purpose, and give some figures on the actual profit margins that businesses who instill a profit-based strategy or a purpose-based strategy, the margins on purpose-based strategies are off the charts. They're outperforming their competitors 6-1. So it's just it's like this really cool idea that when put into practice yields results. And usually people think about having a purpose or like the social cause or an environmental cause as a nice idea. But what I have found, and all the research is proving, is it has a financial nice idea, which I know all of you guys and all of the entrepreneurs and small business owners, that's what they're looking for, is the financial. Because I get it. I'm a small business owner. I'm running my own business. So financial is important. But what purpose gives you is a strategy to be able to connect with your consumers on a really authentic way. And it drives loyalty, it creates brand advocates, and people actually kind of do the marketing for you, which is a huge burden off your back, and also saves you a lot of time. We talked about that yesterday, how having a purpose save in decision making, where you can run all of the things that come your way through this purpose filter, It also works that way in communication. So today we're going to be talking about customers and communication strategy. And so when you have a purpose to your business, your marketing and your services and the experience you give customers is like so inspirational or even educational or motivational, depending on like what business you have. Like what you deliver to customers creates an army of brand advocates. Like they are pushing for your business to succeed. And it's so interesting. It's something like 60-70% of people go online to check for reviews before they purchase. I mean, I know I do it. Like even on Amazon, I'm always checking on reviews, seeing what other people think. And with this idea of word of mouth and how important people's reviews and opinions are of your business, having a strong purpose like really streamlines all of that. And consumers have shown that not only do they want to purchase from companies that have a purpose, but they're going to pay more for it. They connect with your story. They connect with what your company cares about, like the issues that you're solving. And it's been super interesting because like even when your company has like maybe a slip up or there's an issue in your company, like for example, like Prius had a recall, and because their company's purpose was so clear and so articulated, like people still support them and they still want to everyone I know who drives a Prius is like always talking about their Prius. And that's what having a strong purpose can do for you. That even when the market gets turbulent or even there's an issue in your own business, like when you have a strong purpose, customers are still like emotionally and like mentally connected to your business, that you have such an easier way to get beyond those issues. I think it's not in my notes, but like there's this figure that when companies had a purpose and they had some sort of like fuck up in their business, they were able to overcome it like 67% of the time. Whereas companies who didn't have a purpose, what was it? It was like 19%. So that kind of just drives home the point that like when you have a purpose to your business, it really can help in every aspect. So like yesterday we talked about how important it was for employees to be on board with your purpose. And I touched briefly on consumer experience because that's super important. Like I said yesterday, by 2020, consumer experience is going to completely outweigh both price and product. And so having your employees on board with your purpose is the biggest part, actually. Like that's why I started with employees, because it's definitely a huge and monumental when it comes to running a business. A lot of people look outwards when they're running a business, but it really starts at home. I've been saying this, it starts with leaders. It starts with leadership and management. That's where company culture starts. And then it gets filtered through down to employees and then outwards to customers. And so not only are employees demanding more from the companies they work for, like customers are demanding more. They're like actually voting with their dollar. And our landscape is so competitive now that I'm especially with the advent of the internet. like you can go online and you have so many options to purchase from. So like your company needs a competitive advantage, and your company needs a way to stand out in a very authentic way. Because consumers are demanding authenticity from the companies they purchase from. So connecting with consumers on a value-based, like purpose-based level, like actually psychologically speaks to them in like kind of a self-expressive way. They get to connect with your company and also kind of like forward their own beliefs about themselves, or like it might even be a social way. When they purchase your products, they get to show others that they have these beliefs. It's kind of like with Prius. You drive a Prius, it's an outward statement that you care about global warming, that you care about climate change, that you're making a difference, and that you're going to put your money behind it. But like people also, on the opposite end, they do the same exact thing. Like they don't buy from companies that have either low moral compasses, or that they're actually doing harm to the environment, or they actually don't purchase from companies that don't have a good impact. Let's see, 9 out of 10 consumers will switch brands if the other brand is associated with a social or an environmental cause. So if you have a company and like your competitor takes on a cause, 9 out of 10 people are going to switch brands. This goes beyond brand recognition. Brand recognition is a thing of the past. It used to be that people bought because they knew the brand, because you were on top of mind. But now, the way that society, like socially purchases are happening, is that they're buying based on what you do for the world, what you bring to the planet. They're doing research before they purchase. They are going online and checking consumer reviews. It's all available at our fingertips. It's no longer that you just have to buy like what's right in front of you. You get to really research and like decide where you want to spend your money. 90% of people globally will boycott a company if they learn that they have irresponsible or deceptive business practices. 90% of people will boycott your company if they find out you're like fucking around. That's crazy. And like we've seen it happen. Like Uber had this big scandal. Well, they've had multiple scandals. They had one over gay rights. People boycotted. They've had ones where their drivers are assaulting women. People boycotted. And all their competitors are just getting more and more business because Uber doesn't have a lockdown on their purpose. Uber doesn't know what they stand for. And, you know, they don't communicate it throughout the company. And so, like, I've talked about how globally 91% of consumers expect more from their companies than just to make a profit. But it's interesting because, like, something like 60% of people actually believe that doing good needs to be a fundamental aspect, actual fundamental aspect of your business. That's super interesting to me because it just proves all the ideas that I've been talking about. That doing good, having a purpose, people believe in. They're supporting it with their dollar. They're supporting it with their business, and they actually believe that businesses need to have this as a fundamental part of their business. And it gains you like trust and loyalty. Like when you're authentically for a purpose, you get the trust and the loyalty and like positive image that it all comes from. I kind of talked about how the customer experience is going to be so important for days to come. Caitlin, yeah. When the like scandal happened, I stopped using them after the LGBT like thing because I really thought it was fucked up. And there's so many other services out there that offer similar like things, and so I'm not going to give them my money. And that's kind of exactly what I'm talking about, is that customers really care about what your business stands for. And it's not only just the employees, which like that's kind of Uber's problem, is they have so many employees and they don't have this kind of system to train and get their company values down to employees. Because like if Uber has this really cool idea, it's kind of like Southwest Airlines with like democratizing the air. But Uber is this in your pocket, very convenient thing, but they don't translate any of this down. Like Uber as a company is like this little bubble over here, and then all of their drivers are doing whatever the fuck they want, and that's the problem with the company. And we've seen that time and time and again. Like it might have been like a month ago or something, the CEO had to step down because they had so many problems. So like it's cool. Well, it's not cool. It's not cool, but it kind of proves what I'm talking about, and it proves my idea that like purpose is the future of business. That's the only reason it's cool. Otherwise, it's totally fucked up. Just putting that on the record. Alright. So like let me get back to my notes. So like in terms of customers, having a purpose is super important. 87% of millennials make their purchasing decisions based off whether a company has like a positive impact on the world. We talked about yesterday how 75% of millennials are going to be 75% of the workforce by 2025. That means they're also going to be the majority of the purchasing force, and they are pushing for purpose in the companies they buy for. Up to like, it's super crazy because I remember back in the day, you would buy based on like a brand you recognize. You saw it in the store, or you had seen their advertising, and you went for it. But like what I've talked about with the internet and how information is just totally out there, like we now get to see kind of like behind the scenes for brands, and now 80% of people will buy from a brand that they don't know. They don't know the brand at all. But they're going to buy it if it actually has a strong social and environmental commitment. Because a brand that advertises and markets and stands behind their social and environmental commitments are the ones that are driving progress. They're the ones that employees want, that consumers want, that you want to be. So I mean, all of these stats that I'm giving are really just kind of like drive home my idea about why you should be rethinking your strategy. Why you should be looking at your business from a purpose standpoint rather than a product standpoint. Because when you think about it on a product standpoint, it's just features and benefits. But like when you think about it from a purpose standpoint, it's people. And that's what the world is pushing for. Consumers, employees, investors, everyone is pushing for this idea of purpose. So when it actually comes down to your communication strategy, it makes it so much easier. Like once you've decided to have a purpose-based business, like it's kind of like the decision making we talked about yesterday, is your communication strategy gets totally streamlined also, because what you share and what you talk about is your purpose and what you're doing. I actually had a call with one of my clients earlier today, and it was so cool. Like, we had gotten clear on their story, and we had gotten clear on their purpose and what they're doing in the world. And they told me that as they're talking to people, they're so engaged. And like more and more people are starting to like add to their email list or like buy their products simply because they're talking about their business in a different way. And that's that shift that I've been talking about. The shift from just like product benefits to like a purpose behind it. Caitlin, awesome. Yeah, you're in network marketing. Like, I remember you selling the jewelry. It's all about the purpose behind it. It's all about like how you connect with people and like the actual what you do for people. It's not the product you're selling. What you're selling is like what it gives to people's life. We should definitely connect. I miss you. And so like we kind of talked about on day one how much noise there is on the internet. Like there's so much people, there's so many people posting, there's so many people posting random things beyond just the like the products and advertisements that you see out there. And so like it's really hard to sift through all that noise. And what having a purpose to your business does is it allows you to connect with customers on this like heartfelt level. It's this really authentic way to connect with your target audience, and the people who are in tune with what you're selling, they're gonna come to you in droves. Like once you declare a purpose and you start on this path, people want to support you. One of my clients recently decided on this purpose, and they are against gun violence. And so now that they've decided and they've started talking about it, they're getting all these supporters. And they're like making connections with organizations that can further that purpose. And on a business aspect, that just grows your network. And it gets you in touch with so many other people that are connected and like-minded and that also have the same drive, and they also want the same things. And so like your product is kind of like secondary to your purpose. Your product is like a supporting feature. You know what I mean? It's this really cool thing that when you have a purpose and you lead with purpose, like people attach onto it and they want more, and they are so overcome with excitement that they promote your service. Like they become brand advocates. They're the ones sharing. And so I've talked about information overload in terms of being like an entrepreneur and having to look at all these new kinds of advertising. You got inbound, outbound, native, Facebook ads, all of this stuff. But having a purpose like can streamline your entire communication strategy. Because when you talk about your story and you talk about your values and like what you stand for as a company, that's what people connect to. They don't want to be sold to. People don't want to be sold to. Like, I know I'm so tired of it. I get these emails or I see ads on the internet and I'm just like, I can't click away quick enough. Because I don't want to be sold to. If I don't know about your company, I don't care. When I need something, I will research it and I'll go look for it. And so that's where purpose really gives you a competitive advantage, because it helps with the word of mouth. When you offer something more than just your product, people talk about it. And so when somebody is going specifically to look for your type of product or service, they get not only that you offer a dope product, you know what I mean? But they also get to be a part of a cause, and they remain loyal. 80%, no, it's 88% of people will remain loyal to a brand if they have a cause. So my notes, I kind of talked about that. You know, traditional advertising is moot. You know, we scroll through ads. We can just fast forward on our TVs. We can, on the internet, people have like XM radio. That like, you need to have another way to differentiate your company and to connect with your customers. And everything is showing like it's no longer based on exactly product features. So having like clarity around your brand story and your brand purpose and values, it really like creates connection and affinity. Like, people connect with your brand and they forward your brand. Like brand evangelists or brand advocates. Even influencers have become these buzz terms in marketing. And you can get that for your own brand when you really figure out what your purpose is, and then you start telling people about it. Because then people connect with it, they get it. They want to forward it for you. It's kind of interesting because when I talk to like new clients about purpose, and some of the like objections I've gotten have been like, it's going to cost me money if I want to be either sustainable, or if I want to support a cause, it's going to cost me money. But actually, it will cost you money in the beginning, but like the return is insane. PG&E found that when they put their brands either green or they had like a social cause, they increased by 400%. A 400% return on these investments. So money is just like, it's not even an argument. Like, the funds that go into it are returned 400%. There's a study that showed organizations that were driven by purpose and values outperformed the market 15-1. And they outperformed their competitors 6-1. So like, this is your competitive advantage. Having a purpose and like having company values, this is your competitive advantage. You can outperform your competitors by 6-1. Like, this is why I get excited about this stuff. Because it's like the magic ingredient. And it sucks that it's magic because it's like so needed and wanted in our society. Like, we really need businesses to be sticking up for people and the environment. And everything is showing that their bottom dollar benefits also. So it's like, doing good gets good. It really does. Also, businesses that are going sustainable are growing 30% faster than their competitors. So it's like, not only are you outperforming, but you're growing faster. And this is a fun stat. I found that an estimated 1.2 trillion dollar opportunity exists if you already have a sustainable brand or you already have a purpose-based brand. A 1.2 trillion dollar opportunity exists for these brands when they market themselves. When they actually get their communication strategy in line with their purpose, money's on the table. There's just money on the table. It's interesting because, like, not only with consumers and stuff, but there's other financial benefits. Like Walmart did this energy program as like a sustainability program, and they actually found that they saved money in all of their electric bills. You know what I mean? It doesn't always need to be a direct consumer thing. Like, having a purpose and then putting programs into place behind it have so many other benefits also. Like Unilever, they expanded their market reach by creating these different programs and stuff. They opened themselves up to developing markets, and now their products are being sold there. And it all got tied into this purpose-based program that they had. So, I mean, I am just super excited about this, as I've said multiple times. The thing about having a purpose behind your brand, though, is that only 46% of businesses actually believe that their company has a purpose. And even less than that, it's like 30% of businesses actually think that their business models and their like strategies are forwarding that purpose. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. They have this great idea, but they don't actually align their business structure and what they're doing day to day to this purpose. And over the last couple of days, I've talked about how financially beneficial, like in terms of beneficial with your employees, beneficial with your customers. They all really kind of dying down to profit because I am talking to my fellow business owners. I know that that's really what can pique your interest, is that, like, yeah, this helps the planet, but like this is also going to really help your business. Like, this is the business strategy to conquer the future. I hands down believe it. And a lot of people get stuck between the nice idea and the doing and actually integrating into their business. And so, like, I'm going to help you out a little bit. Next week, tune in on Monday. I'm going to be talking about, like, how to get really clear on, like, your company values and how to... Next week, in general, we're going to be talking about how to get clear on this type of thing and how to implement it. So it turns from, like, not such a nice idea, but, like, actual reality. So you can start reaping all of these benefits that I've talked about over the last couple days. Because, to recap a little bit, 91% of global consumers demand more from their businesses. And over 9 out of 10 millennials are going to work for a company that has social or environmental benefits. So, front end and back end, you need this in your business. And so if you own a business, or if you know entrepreneurs or small business owners, share these videos. My goal is really to give you guys some really great value. And next week we're going to be talking about some actual tactics and strategies. And I'm just really excited to share this with you guys. So, thank you so much for joining, Amanda. I see you. Sarah, what's up? So excited you guys just like clicked and watched. Um, I'm wondering if you guys can hear that through the video, but a car just went by with some fun music. All right, Caitlin, thank you. Your questions are awesome, and I had a blast. I can't wait to talk to you guys on Monday and actually give some like real tactical things you can do for your business, because I've already laid out why you need to do it, why you need a new strategy, and why purpose should be your new strategy. And next week we're going to talk about how. So tune in Monday at 7 and have a great weekend. All right, guys. Bye.